friend just helped me realize something. Not this friend, but this friend helps me realize many things. No more apologizing. No more fucking apologizing or asking an apology for anything. There is never anything to apologize for, because what is simply is. An apology implies that there's a judgment of something as being incorrect, something being wrong or bad or inappropriate. All of that judgment is the realm of ego. It's the realm of the mind. If the mind finds something wrong, that's just evidence of a skewed perspective. That is a warped, diminished, limited perspective that ego has taken, and it's only the alignment with that perspective that makes it feel like that's true. It's not. There is nothing wrong, ever. There's nothing bad, ever. There is nothing inappropriate, ever. I understand that's a controversial statement, and I will own that. There's no apology needed. There's only ever what is. The highest perspective sees this. All judgment is judgment of self, ultimately, because everything is self. It's all self. And if self is behaving in a way that is unconscious, that is ego-driven, and therefore is perhaps acting hurtful or aggressive or attacking or insulting or any of these things, that's just unconsciousness. That's not even the self, really. That's not that individual, that's not that soul performing those actions. That's unconsciousness. That is ego. So what's there to even be mad about? Nobody did anything. And anything that happened simply is, whatever is happening just is. You can recognize that it's being performed by unconsciousness, it's being performed by ego. It is not that self, it is not that soul, actually, that is performing those actions. And you can see from the highest perspective that what is simply is. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong. It's not correct or incorrect. It just is. It's just what is. All of this stemming from a realization that I had been apologizing because I myself was internally subtly judging my own exhaustion, feeling tired, feeling sleepy. Yes, I have a diagnosis that I have not fully detached from. It's still there. That's still something that is a part of my experience, and I'm learning more and more about how to accept it and not expect it to change, but not be attached to it either, right? Not derive an identity from it. It's narcolepsy. I have a diagnosis of narcolepsy. I have lots of diagnoses. Most of them I've no longer really attached to in any way, and they're not so much a part of my experience. This one, it sticks around. This one sticks around. I feel sleepy a lot. I feel very, very tired a lot. I dream almost constantly. There is hardly a night where I feel like I am not dreaming more than anything else. And I am treading this new ground, this balanced place of not resisting that experience, but not identifying with it either overly, not attaching to it. But I realize there is still this part of ego, this unconscious component, that is conditioned to reject it. Conditioned to say that it's wrong, that it's bad, that my experience of exhaustion or waves of sleepiness are inappropriate. Because that's something that was conditioned. And that's not to blame anybody or anything. It was conditioned by unconsciousness. Mine and others. The shared unconsciousness is what conditioned this. If I had in the past had more conscious presence, perhaps I would have been able to prevent that pattern from taking place, but I didn't. And so it set in. Having experienced falling asleep in class, falling asleep in meetings at work, falling asleep in conversations with people, falling asleep in the middle of all kinds of things, and then feeling embarrassed, being told that that was a rude thing. And of course, that old people-pleasing component, which is just a version of narcissism, people-pleasing tendency. It's a page from the same book of emotional manipulation. It's all part of the same thing, and it's how ego operates. Everybody at some point, up until now, the vast majority, 99.9% of the human population has been operating predominantly under narcissistic tendency of different variety. This self included. Absolutely. I was viciously codependent, just a people pleaser, because that was my version of emotional manipulation, unconscious and ego driven. Absolutely. And so I allowed myself to give away my own power and to condition myself, really, into apologizing for exhaustion because of this internal judgment of it as inappropriate or wrong. Rather than accepting it simply as what is, there's a feeling of exhaustion. This body feels tired. This body needs to sleep. This body wants to sleep. That's what it's asking for. This body is sleeping. Perhaps it fell asleep. Well, that happened. That's a thing. That's a part of what is. None of it incorrect. None of it inappropriate. None of it wrong. Just what is. And so I am alleviating myself of any of this burden of ridiculous judgments. Even calling it ridiculous is a small judgment. It's just judgment. This burden of judgment, the judgment of self, the judgment of any other self. And so no more apologizing, and no more do I expect or ask an apology for anything. There is nothing to apologize for. What is. That's it. If it happens because of unconscious behavior, fine. That's not bad either. That's unconscious. Even if it is consciously driven, or perhaps it is something wholly external and beyond anyone's control. It's just what is. That's it. No need to attach the burden of any characterization or judgment to it. It's just there. It's just what is. So, that's a fun realization. And I am, at this moment, proclaiming and affirming to myself, to the universe, no more apology. No more sorry. If there is an action that occurs from unconscious behavior, it's an opportunity to recognize that, and that is a gift. That is a blessing. Whether it is unconsciousness as experienced within this self or within another self, that's a good thing. That is an opportunity for growth and expansion and awareness. That's it. And everything else just is. So, not sorry. Not expecting anyone or asking anyone or desiring anyone to feel sorry ever again. I am releasing apologies from my experience because they're wholly unnecessary. Releasing expectation, releasing apology, releasing fear, all unnecessary, all a part of the illusion that we are simply letting to fall away now. What an absolute gift that I am truly grateful for on this beautiful, beautiful foggy morning. Have a blessed day.